Hello, everyone. I'm Radhika Dhawan, and you're watching Dialogue at Nation Next. Today, I'm in conversation with jewelry designer Purva Darda Kothari. A very warm welcome, Mrs. Kothari.
Thank you, Radhika. Lovely to be here on the show.
You have to tell me about your exhibition in Triya. Now, that's in Nagpur on 9th and 10th of October at Jawaharlal Dada Art Gallery. And you have curated, you have made some beautiful, exquisite handmade diamond pieces. So, if you could tell me about it.
So, first of all, Radhika, I'm very excited to be in Nagpur after a gap of long 2 years
Okay.
after the whole break during the COVID. So, I'm very excited. And being a Nagpur girl, it's been like my passion to really be in Nagpur and give people the best of my pieces. So, my collection this year is, a lot of intricate, exquisite collection, but it's like for everyone. It's not just for the bridals or for some, I mean, somebody who can wear it daily and even a bride. So I have beautiful pieces which you can come and have a look. And I'll talk more about my jewelry pieces also. Uh, they are all in different categories. Like I've made earrings, rings, bracelet. I have a collection for men.
Okay, lovely. But can you tell me what is the difference between handmade diamond jewelry and the diamond jewelry that you get across the stores?
So handmade is mostly made for, very personalized jewelry, and it's made to a customer's need, a clientele need, and non-handmade. The other ones, which is there, the regular jewelry is more like for the masses.
Okay.
So usually what you find in the showrooms and everything, it's more for the masses. So what I cater to is like I do all handmade pieces, one of the
Okay. Yeah.
specific creation. Like I have my clientele who whoever they, whatever they require, I design it for them.
Okay. And what would you call your best seller? I mean, if you could define your pieces, your signature creations.
So usually like my USP is my rings, my
Okay.
bracelets and earrings. So this is something which you can wear it anytime, anywhere, and they're all statement pieces. So I love to design something looking into the personality of a person, or just like, I'm very inspired by nature, birds, especially flowers. So I take some inspiration with that and I just design accordingly. So yeah, these are my USP. I love designing these three things a lot.
We have the festival season that's about to kick in, and we have this wedding season also that we are going to have it now. November and December are completely wedding season. So, what do you have in store for these youngsters and young brides and young women out there?
So this festive season and just last few years, we've been seeing the trend that mostly brides are going for very light jewelry in the sense of very lightweight jewelry. They don't like something which is like too flashy and too much where they cannot be worn later and can be just be kept in lockers. So we are doing a lot of chokers for them. We are doing a lot of like a long chains, which can be, twirled and worn around and can be worn as necklaces, plus long chains for even parties. They can be worn on gowns. So we have a lot of new stuff, and even for the office going girls, we have like something like pendants, earrings, tiny ones, which you can like flaunt it every day. You don't need to just think about it. For me, I feel jewelry is to be worn every day. It should not be kept in the locker. Like how our parents, when we got married, our grandmoms used to tell us, just wear your jewelry, the best of jewelry every day.
Hmm.
So I try to design something which every girl can wear it every day, not just be put in the locker.
What kind of variety do you have? Speaking about designs and even the stones, like be it the rarity, exclusivity, and traditional look, or what is it that sets your
So
jewelry apart?
so mostly my jewelry is Indo-Western kind of a thing on a classier line, and I'm using a lot of emeralds, rubies, sapphires, tanzanites, South Sea pearls, and I use a lot of rose gold because it really, goes very well with our Indian skin tone. So I love to design a lot with the rose gold, that's the pink gold, And I have a lot of collection in like necklaces, earrings, bracelets, pendants, and a lot of mixed variety where whoever comes can get something to choose from.
You have interacted with actor Kareena Kapoor Khan, and she had even graced your Delhi exhibition. She had inaugurated that exhibition. So, what is her taste?
It was lovely interacting with Kareena. She had lovely ideas, and so I also got to learn a lot from her because because they have to be on the set for several hours. They need to wear something which is very light in weight and yet very trendy, and which can be shown on the screen. So she loved my pieces because they were bold. They were something which she could wear it for hours and not feel the weight. And she could change. Usually you get stuck with one piece and then you are like, there. But she could wear pieces because they were light in weight. So she could pick up few things, wear it and turn it around, and the whole look would change. So she also likes a very minimalistic look, but it should be bold and it should be seen.
I was told that her choices, her preferences, diamonds and pearls, and
yes,
is that the thing?
Yes, absolutely. Because what attracted her most in my collection was the pearl and the diamond necklace, which she had worn. She was absolutely in love with it and it looked gorgeous on her. So yeah, she really loves pearls and diamonds. And this particular set, what she gave me a feedback, which was really nice. It was very, very intricately done, and the workman, she really loved the workmanship. So I was very happy to cater that to her and get a feedback from her.
There are some basic things that people don't know. Like, I have been wearing jewelry. I don't know some basic things. I'm sure so many people out there don't know. What is really the difference between a raw diamond or an uncut diamond or a regular solitaire that we wear? Like, how is it different from each other?
So a rose cut and uncut is same, and regular diamond has more facets. So, and the uncut diamond has lesser facets, and the uncut is little more flatter.
If you diamond. Tell in detail what exactly that is, because people are not going to understand these terms.
Yeah, so diamond is, it has more facets. So the height of a regular diamond is more than the uncut diamond. Uncut diamonds are more flatter, which you say polki, what you use it in jarao jewelry. Okay. Those are more rose cuts and uncuts. And real diamonds are the solitaire diamonds or the single cut diamonds, what you call the brilliant cut, which has more facets. So the light filters more, so there's more luster in the single cut diamond than the rose cut diamonds. That's why it's valued also more.
Suppose I need to buy a solitaire. What are the things I should be keeping in mind?
When you're buying a diamond, you should always remember the 4 C's of diamonds. So it has cut, carat, clarity, and color. These are the 4 things you should always keep in mind when you're buying a diamond. And you should always take a certificate, which is GIA certified, or it's, so it's from a good reputed firm, like a IGI or a GIA. So, that certifies that you are buying a good diamond.
If you could elaborate on the 4 C's that you just spoke about.
So the cut is what is very, very important for me, because it really, the deeper the cut is, the more the light filters through the cut. Okay. And the clarity is something which is color. Okay. Like a clarity is in the sense of color, and there's the more polishing, the way how it's been, the rough, how it has been, material, how the material is and how it's been cut and made into a beautiful diamond. So that's the clarity for me. And the carat depends on every person to person, that what carat they want to buy. 1 carat, 2 carat, 3 carat, it depends on all the kind of sizes you want to buy.
Right.
So that's why. And color is something, it goes from D to E, F, G, H. It goes to, the I, it can go to, so starting from D is a very good color. It's a flawless color. So, and as you go, then it keeps increasing with slight inclusion or something like that. So then it all goes to V, VVS, VVS1, it all depends like that. But good color is like D, E, F, G. It's all and so on.
You are a jewelry designer, and I'm sure, like, we all come across pictures of so many artists, celebrities, and we just have a look at those pictures. So when we look at jewelry that's worn by maybe Neeta Ambani, Mrs. Neeta Ambani.
Yeah.
So as a jewelry
Yeah.
designer, what comes to your mind when you look at those pieces? Because as a layman, I look at them and of course they are beautiful. So as a technical perspective, like, how do you look at it?
So I love all the pieces she flaunts, absolutely, because they are gorgeous and they are all, from the top designers who I really would want to be there. So they all, each pieces are like, something which they are breathtaking. And every person would want to own that piece. And the
Every piece makes
making,
a
the
statement.
every piece is a statement piece. So I love all her jewelry, and I would love to learn from all these already established designers, and the ones she wears or whoever wears. Like, it's always so much to learn, and the look and the persona, it just changes of a person when they wear that. So it's beautiful. I think it just attracts me to the person when you wear a beautiful piece.
What would you tell people? Like, you have brides who are just, they are so confused about what to wear, which jewelry to wear. A lot depends on the structure of the face, as far as I can understand. If you have maybe a long face, there's a different piece of piece that you should be wearing. So if you could tell pieces according to the face structure.
First of all, I feel jewelry is something how you feel confident, how you carry yourself. Whether you're fat, you're thin, whether however you are made, it's all in our mind. So I feel how you carry your jewelry becomes a statement piece. That's why I tell all my brides that whatever you love, just wear it with confidence. First of all, that's what my take is. And then, of course, when if you have a nice long neck, you should always wear something like a choker, which can enhance your neck. And if you have a little fat neck, you can go for something which is more longer necklaces, And if you have regular neck, go for something which is flat, which is showy, something which can be, worn all around your neck with nice dangling earrings. So I think usually all women, they tend to fit into some style, which is their style, So, yeah.
People often get it wrong. If we speak about the cleaning process of jewelry, like either we clean it or we don't clean it at all. There are two kinds of jewelry who end up doing this. So if you could tell which is the right way of cleaning and keeping your jewelry actually safe and clean.
So there are a lot of myths about how to clean your jewelry. Some say that you should put it in vinegar. Some say you should clean it with toothpaste. But I feel that's not right. The best way to clean your jewelry is use warm water with a little detergent, whatever you have in the house, a little Zamai soap, and just wash it, clean it with a nice muslin cloth and keep it. That's the best way to, clean your jewelry. Because if you use toothpaste, and if you scrub on it, it will leave a dent. It will leave some, abrasive kind of, inclusions on your jewelry, on your stones, on your pearls, and it might damage.
Yeah.
Yes. So the best way to use it, like a mild soap with a little warm water.
Okay, and that's for your bracelets, your wedding jewelry, your ears,
absolutely
everything.
Absolutely everything. Absolutely.
Okay, and I've been told there's a certain way where we have to wear a perfume. Like I wear a huge neck piece, and I cannot wear a perfume on that. Like, obviously that's going to damage the look and the sheen, right? So if you could tell which is the right way.
So I feel you should be a little planned before you're getting ready. So definitely you must remember the last thing which goes is your jewelry. You must wear your perfume much before, like at least 15 minutes before you wear your jewelry. Okay. Especially wear it behind your ears and let it, fade out for a bit, and wear it wherever you want to wear it, but wear your jewelry like in the end. Don't wear it, wear your jewelry and then spray over it, because it tends to tarnish then.
So how do you think, usually Nagpur is good at receiving such kind of pieces and designs and creations of yours? I'm sure people love it out there.
Yeah, so I have been very, very lucky to have got such lovely reviews and have got very good clientele in Nagpur. So people they love what I have been making, and they wait for this jewelry exhibition. So I'm very happy to get something which they enjoy, wearing it. I know their taste. I for this is my nearly the 10th year I'm doing it in Nagpur. So I connect very well with my clients, and I understand their taste, and I bring to them what is close to them. So I make a lot of very, very lightweight kind of jewelry, which is very affordable, which is something which they can wear it very often. It's not that they'll keep it in their locker and forget about it. So that's why I realized that every year I have same people coming over and again to buy another piece.
If you could tell us the starting range of your jewelry, so that people, if at all, who don't have an idea, even they can visit your store.
So I start with about 30,000 onwards, and I could make anything catering to their budget, and it goes on to lakhs and cross. It depends on what a person wants. I deal with solitaires to ready pieces to catering to them to everything. So every piece of mine is very unique. It's not like just I've made this piece and taken inspiration and gone, but every piece like takes a lot of designing and thought behind it. Like a ring could be worn as a bracelet, a pendant could be worn as a ring. So I try and get something which is a multi kind of a thing where they can get a lot out of one thing. Okay. So every piece has a story to tell.
I'm sure you must have made something for your father, right? Like some jewelry, maybe. If you could tell something that he likes, something from your
he absolutely loves cufflinks. So okay. I have made many cufflinks for him, which he loves it and he flaunts it, and he is very proud to tell everybody that my daughter has designed this. Sure. And he's very, very finicky about the finish, the way it has to be, the product. So he always keeps comparing me when he's traveling abroad with the finish and all. So it helps me to be on my toes, and finally he's approved, like, that it is to the T. So I'm very happy to design.
Can I say that he's your biggest critic?
He is my biggest critic, and I love that absolutely about him. It's really made me what I am today, because of his critics,
Thank you so much. And it was lovely talking to you. And I wish all the best.
Thank you so much, Radhika. It was lovely interacting.
Subscribe to Nation Next YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates from Nation Next. Also like Nation Next Facebook page and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.